my gosh, I didn't think I was gonna make it, but I did it. Yes. Hello, welcome to live chat. I'm so excited to be here. So in case you have not seen yet, there is a new way for influencers to communicate with their audiences, and it's text message. And I have actually been a part of one of these text message groups for quite a long time. When it was still in beta, it looks like it's coming out of beta now. So I can tell you kind of my experience having been on the texting side. And we're going to talk about kind of how influencers may use these text messages in order to reach you in a new way, for positive, for negative, for increasing parasocial relationship, which I want to get more into this week, because I think that there were some things that I want to clarify from last week. When we kind of touched on this subject. And then I want to go into, there was a comment left on my 7 brands video that I'm so glad you all loved that video. It's doing very well comparatively to the rest of my content. So I'm really glad that you all enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching it. And I'm really glad you liked it. But there was one comment that I want to talk about that I think was really interesting and kind of brought my thinking to a different level. And I want to bring that up and kind of talk to y'all about it. And then we'll just pop topics from there. But before we get into all of that, I do want to say a quick good morning to the people that are here live in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness. Yes.
The screen is black again this week.
The screen is black again this week, apparently, for some people.
And tight, all that good stuff.
Okay, so it looks like, okay, so yes, John is JG3, so if you see him posting, that's what's happening. YouTube is changing around things, and sometimes when they do that, things, aren't quite smooth. So if you are seeing a black screen, I recommend going out and coming back in about 2 minutes, and then that should resolve it. If it doesn't, hopefully.
I resolved it without having to go out last week.
Oh, okay.
Just like sit tight and listen.
Hopefully y'all heard that. So some people were saying that it resolved immediately, within a couple of minutes without having to do anything. And then some people were even saying on the replay that it was a black screen in the beginning. So I don't know. All I know is the vast majority of people were able to see the stream last week. So I'm hoping that you will be able to see it eventually. And if I go out and come back, it's not going to change anything. So Caitlin says, turn on airplane mode and turn Wi-Fi back on, and it fixed the black screen on my iPhone. So there you go. Same thing happened with captions, where YouTube wasn't putting automatic captions on videos, at least my videos, and now they have updated it to where we can actually go in and we can set it to not put in cuss words. If we think that that something may be misinterpreted for a bad word, we can set it to not put that bad word in the captions, and I figured out that was why there have been issues with automated captions on YouTube videos recently, is because they were messing with that. But hopefully that should be fixed now as well. So, now that all of that housekeeping has been resolved, do you like my mug? It is from a fabulous YouTube channel called Audra at Home. She is an exotic bird. If you've never met her, I highly recommend you go check her out. She is one of my good friends. All right, moving on. All right. Kat, good morning. Sarah, good morning. And Monica, good morning. To members of the Collective Brain Elite, thank you so much for being here. Just Glow Firefly is here. My girl Latina is here. Hello to Julio and the rest of your family. Happy Sunday. Sharon, good morning to you. Josephine, good morning, and Ginger, another elite member, good to see you. Consuelo and Angel, Sarah, Teresa M.O., and Mander Jack is here. Hello to you, and Nikki and Holly and Tara and Say, and ooh la la, Andrea and Beth. Did I say Jeannie? I'm not sure if I said Ginger Jeannie yet. Good morning, Ginger Jeannie, and Emily Green, and Kate Land, welcome back. Melissa and Laura and Vivian and Steph and Grace and classically Diana, Lena, and Kimberly Clark, who looks like a different Kimberly Clark than what I am used to seeing when I see Kimberly Clark. But welcome to you, Kimberly Clark, and DB Cakes and Miranda. And Katie Marie, go check out her YouTube channel if you are not familiar. All right, now if I did not say good morning to you, and welcome. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, This is not a critique of Manny MUA. I just want to let you know. I get along with Manny very, very well, and I don't want anybody to see this as a bash against Manny because it's absolutely 100% not. Okay, so let's go into the tweet that he sent out on October 2nd, and it says, text me guys, and there's his phone number. So if you would like to sign up for his community texting thing, you can do that, and that is the number to do it. So yesterday I saw this and I thought it was super interesting. This was a tweet from one of his fans. Did Manny MUA just text me for my birthday? I guess we'll never know, but I'm going to pretend it's real and have the best birthday ever. Well, Manny liked the post, and it's his, it says from him, and it says, hi, my love. And she says, OMG, is this really you? It's my birthday tomorrow. I'll drop dead. And then it looks like they cut out a little bit of maybe something that she wanted to keep private, and then he says, good night, my love, happy birthday, babe, I hope it's incredible, which I thought was so cool that he he text messaged someone on their birthday. So this is what he posted after that. The app lets me know whose birthday it is so I can text you guys. And I wasn't sure because I am signed up for Phil DeFranco's. I wasn't sure if it was the same app or something different. So I tweeted him and he told me it's called Community. And that is the same one that Phil DeFranco uses that I have been subscribed to for a while. And happy birthday to Angela, wherever you are. So this I thought was, okay, so let me show you before I get into the DM that I got. This is what Phil's looks like, and this is how he uses it. So he uses it to send private video messages, to update his community on different things, when there's new merch available, when something is having issues with the show going up. He also tweets out, this was when he was trying to do new mugs and he wasn't sure, and he wanted to do a poll of, you know, what mug design people would want, and then people crashed the poll site. And this is also through Community, the poll thing. So I believe Phil was using it during beta, and I think that it's coming out of beta now, at least it seems to be. And then he tells you, you know, when the new shows are up, when he has new videos. So I have really been enjoying getting these text messages because I know YouTube notifications kind of suck sometimes. Let me go back over to me real quick. I know YouTube notifications suck sometimes, so I feel like it's a great way for me to make sure I know when he has posted something, because I do really enjoy listening to his take on things. So I've personally really liked it. Now, I have texted him a few times. I've never gotten a text message back, not that I would expect to. You know, I met him many, many years ago, but I don't think he knows who I am. So and plus, I don't know if he would associate my text messages with who I am as a person. I don't know what information he's shown versus, you know, my point is I've never gotten any messages back, and I'm not upset about it, but that's the way that it's worked, and I want to give you that information. Now, this I thought was really interesting. I got this DM from someone that is on his is on Manny's community. So she gets the text messages from him. And I thought this was interesting, and she gave me permission to share this. So she says, wait, how did I not know you had a community number? You're my favorite. Oh, well, now I have it. Have a Gorga day. And he says, hi, BB. Yes, it's me. Haha. How are you? And she says back, whoa, OMG. Hi, hello. Just catching up on Love Island. And I can't believe I got a text from Manny himself. And then he says back, so some of you have been asking me about a Halloween collection. And sadly, this year I'm not doing one for Lunar. But I do have a holiday collection coming in November, like the second week of November. I have a shoot for it Tuesday. I think you're going to be obsessed. Get ready. This is, and I don't know what the rest of it was. I think she actually sent me the rest of it, but that kind of gets the point across of what's happening here. So like we talked about last week, you know, we get in these relationships with people on the internet, and sometimes they can feel very, very real. And I think that this can extend that to the next level. It can make it feel even more real when your favorite person is texting you. But you can see here in both instances that this is not a personal relationship. She didn't mention anything about, you know, hey, Manny, are you coming out with any anything for Halloween with Lunar Beauty? She didn't ask that. He just gave that information. So I think it's important with these numbers to recognize that these are a way for influencers or whoever to communicate with their audiences about things that they're doing, and it isn't a two-way thing for the most part. I think it's really cool to be able to do birthday shout outs and stuff like that. I think that's awesome. But again, with parasocial relationships, this is one thing I want to clarify from last week. I don't think parasocial relationships are necessarily bad. I actually think they're kind of cool. And let me explain why. You know, back in the day, I remember getting Teen Beat magazine. Do you guys remember this? I should have thought of this ahead of time and gone, I have an entire box of Teen Beat magazines. Well, way down in the back, they had different addresses that you could write letters to your favorite teen idols or whatever. And you could write letters to them, and then they would send back like a form letter. And did you really get a letter from this person? No, it was a form letter. You didn't really expect to get a personal thing. And even if for some reason randomly you got something personal, you knew you weren't friends with that person, you know? It just increases that connection, that mental, that heartfelt connection. But I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. The only time I see it as a bad thing is when people lose track of the fact that there isn't a close relationship between you and this person. When people lose track of that and it gets them into maybe defending terrible behavior because they feel like this is a person that they really truly know, and that, you know, the connection gets a little too strong where it's not in reality anymore. You know, when we're talking about true Stan behavior, when we're talking about, you know, Eminem and Stan, like that's exactly what I'm talking about. But I think the vast majority of people know where that line is and can get that this is really just a marketing thing when it comes down to it, which isn't a bad thing. I personally love being part of Phil's phone number and being able to get, you know, put input into for when he's releasing merch, or finding out when he's releasing new merch, or knowing when he's got something going on and maybe there won't be a show and he sends a personal video message. I like that. I think that's cool. So it's really up to you how you want to interpret these things. So now that I've been gabbing for 11 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and scroll and see what's happening in the comment section and see what you guys are saying. So Simply D Beauty says, so it's like Manny is texting me, so now I'm going to buy his new palette. Kind of, but you have to stay in reality with it, you know? And I think that that's part of, you know, when parasocial relationships go too far. Hannah says, this is weird. I'm having the black screen issue, but I can see it normal on the replay. I just had the same thing last week. It's so weird. It's so weird. Let's see. Denise is saying that she thinks that it sounds like AI. It may be. It may be. Mandy says that's basically a chat bot. It might be, but I do think that they can send actual messages back. So it's just, you know, I wonder if she had texted him, like she didn't tell me whether she texted back after that, whether he would have responded. So it could be a chatbot, maybe. I don't know. Shelly says, Jen, are you going to participate in this app? I applied for it. I did, because I get a lot of people telling me that they're not getting notifications for my videos, and I think it would be really fun, honestly. And I do have ways that you can participate with me in a smaller setting. So I get ready every Friday on Periscope. It's usually about 30 of us. Sometimes it drops down to 20. It's a very, very small group. I also have a Facebook group called What's Up in Makeup, and I go over there every Thursday around 12:30. So the Periscope one is on Fridays between 12 and 2, usually between 1 and 2, and then the What's Up in Makeup one is at 12:30 on Thursdays. So I have places where I can like actually talk, to small groups of people. So I mean, like, I don't plan on using this as like I don't know if I'm going to do the birthday thing, because I think that might get a little overwhelming for me mentally. But I think like telling you like when I upload a video, maybe doing a poll, sending a little shout out video, just saying, hey, thanks for being a part of this, you know, or just letting you know what I'm doing for my day. Like I cut my finger the other day and I could just be like, oh, look at my idiot self. I was cooking and I cut my finger, you know, like almost like using it like Instagram stories, but through a text message. I don't know, but I also don't want to be annoying about it, because like text messages can get really annoying if somebody's spamming you. So it's that fine line. But yes, the short answer, that was the long answer. Short answer is yes, I did apply for it and I would like to do it. But I want to make sure, that we're clear as far as all of that. Yeah, Christine says, haha, I love those letters though. Even the form letter put a smile on my face. Exactly. That's why I don't see this as being necessarily a bad thing. Julie says, showing my age, my first fan letter was to Sean Cassidy. Oh, I love that. I sent one to Corey Haim and I sent one to Corey Feldman. And I think I sent one other one, but I can't remember. Maybe it was Devin Sawa. Maybe. Possibly. But it's been a while. I don't remember. I know I sent one to Corey Haim. I never heard anything back, though. I was sad. I did meet him once, though. That's a whole nother story. That was interesting. I think I might have I told you all that story before? Maybe. That was interesting. Yeah. Tempted says, OMG, I truly wrote a letter to Justin Timberlake when he was in the Mickey Mouse Club. Not kidding. See, it's fun. It's fun. Caitlin says, I totally agree. I love it when you and other people I follow respond to my comments and such, but I know we ain't best friends. Right, but I know who you are, Caitlin. I know who you are. I see you all the time, but it's not like I know you, Like, I don't know, whether you have siblings. I don't know where you live. I don't know what your daily life is like. I don't know if you have kids. Like, I don't know you. I know who you are, but I don't know you, And I think that's the difference. Yeah, Liz says Devin Sawa is the dreamboat of my childhood. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you totally should. He's hilarious. And he does like little videos with his daughter and stuff. Oh my gosh. So cute. So cute. Sade says, do people think they're actually communicating with Manny himself, or has he said the messages aren't him personally? But see, the thing is I think that some of them are like a mass one sent out, almost like a mass email sent out. But I think he can send individual text messages, because I've heard Phil say that he can send individual text messages back. Like, I don't know what it looks like on the back end. If I'm allowed to, I'll let you know what it looks like on the back end if I get it. I don't know how big your platform needs to be, because Manny and Phil are so much larger of platforms than me. I don't know if I'm going to get accepted or not. But yeah, my Jody is here. Yodelin Joda is here. See, Jody, I know. See, Jody, we don't have a parasocial relationship. We actually we don't talk all the time. We haven't talked in a while, but I've met her in person, and I've given her hugs, and we went on a boat. So, that's a little different. I love my Jody. Hi, Jody. I hope you're doing good. Okay. Grace says it means something to be recognized. It's a thing. It's true. It's true. And I have to say, okay, so let me tell you my little moment. Okay, I wasn't going to mention this because I didn't want it to sound like super lame and cheesy. But okay, so I got invited somehow to the Makeup by Mario masterclass thing. It was like a Zoom call where Mario went over all of his stuff that he sent in PR. I got the kit in PR, and he went over all the stuff. And in the beginning, he was shouting people out, and he was like, oh, it's this person, it's this person. And he's like, oh, what's up in makeup? It's Jen Lowe's Reviews. And I have to tell you, I had one of those moments where I was like, my show, you know who I am. And he got what's up in makeup right. He actually said it correctly. A lot of people, even in my comment section, don't get the name of what's up in makeup correctly. It's like what's up and makeup, or what's new in makeup. No one gets it right. He got it right. And I was like, yes. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna be completely honest when I do the review, because I'm filming that next week and I'm wearing some of the stuff on my face today. But I did fangirl for a minute, I have to say. That he knew who I was really cool. Are we best friends? No. Did he forget about it after that? I don't know, but it was cool for the moment, and it's neat. And I feel like anything that can bring joy to our lives, especially right now, oh my gosh. We need things that'll bring happiness to our lives, even if it's something as silly as getting a text message from somebody, As long as we keep it on that mental state, as long as we recognize this is what it is and this is what it is not. You know what I'm saying? Marky Mark says, remember the first time you said Marky Mark out loud and I responded to my comment, I was like, Made you seem so much more real all of a sudden. Yes, and I think people forget too. Like, I am literally a mom in my basement. Like, that's all anybody is. You know, all these people that you see, all these celebrities, all these big name influencers, they're just people. You know, they wake up and they have to pee when they wake up, and they, you know, eat or have coffee or whatever, and they text message whoever they want, they know, and they, you know what I mean? Like, they sleep in a bed. It's like the whole the teacher sleeps at school syndrome, you know, when you see, you know, your teacher out at the Walmart and you're like, oh my gosh, Mrs. McNally, you go to Walmart, you know, like, it's like that. Like, I think we need to, like, sometimes it needs to be a conscious effort to remember that people that we see on screens are real people when the screen turns off, you know, and I'm legit like, you know, like, I'm just a mom in my basement. And that's what all these people are, really and truly. And I think it's just, you know, it's still, you can still have that level of when you, like, I still have that level of, like, when Mario said he knew what What's Up in Makeup was and he knew who I was. I still had that, like, like thing. But at the same time, I recognize he's a person. He's just a person. You know, it's because I admire him as a makeup artist. So, and as a person, to be completely honest. Like, he's just... Okay, so Tailored 2 is talking to Sarah. She says, I agree. When I see that that the bigger accounts never respond, it's sometimes annoying. I'm happy to chat with Jen and my other YouTube peeps about little things. It's nice. Yes. I totally agree with that. And you know, I get that it's hard to respond to people. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about this. This is really interesting, Taylor. So when bigger accounts don't respond, see, I stopped responding as much because I realized that not everybody that comments in my comment section is looking for a response, especially if it's something that's critical, especially if it's something that is something they're not happy about. Like, if I respond back and, like, somebody says, you know, I wish that, you know, your hair is kind of messy this week or something, I don't know. And I say, oh, you know, thank you so much for the feedback, you know, my dryer was broken or something, you know, whatever. Like, no, you know what? That's not a good example. I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, I'm trying something that's a little bit meaner, because that's not really mean. Okay, like somebody says, I really didn't like this video. I wish you wouldn't make videos like this. Okay. I might say something back. Well, you know, these tend to be very popular within my audience, and I really like making them, so hopefully you'll enjoy the next one. And you can always skip videos you don't enjoy. Some people will see that as passive-aggressive, and will see that as me being snarky, or, you know, that, I don't know, people will see that as me being a jerk when I respond that way. So I've learned really in the past, you know, few months that I need to just not respond to things like that because it often gets misinterpreted. So I think that a lot of, especially bigger people, people that have been involved in bigger scandals and things like that, that have people coming at them all the time, I understand why they don't respond as much in the comment section. Like, I get it. Because no matter what they say, it could be misinterpreted. Beyond like, hi, how are you? You know, or, you know, thank you for watching. Beyond that, showing any kind of personality could be interpreted as something negative, and you don't want to grow your army of people that hate you. Like, it's just not fun. You know, that's kind of the whole goal, you know, at least for me. I know not for everybody, is trying not to grow my army of people that hate me, because it's not fun. It sucks. So I know some people just don't care. And like, you know, you have like the Trisha Paytases of the world that like love growing the army of people that hate her because that's how she pays her bills. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand why people that don't want to grow that army don't respond in comment sections as much, you know? I don't know. That's just a thought. Sarah says, Jen, you've replied to me on Twitter about a silly deodorant you didn't know about from a certain brand. I appreciated the reply. No problem at all. I try to respond to a lot of things on Twitter. Yeah. Sherry says, I got one of your lipsticks and I love it. Yay! Thank you so much. Audra says, yep, I don't respond to negativity. Yeah, I mean, and Audra's like been my rock for the past couple of months. So she's helping me to not respond to negativity even more. She's been there for me through all of that. Sophie says, if someone says that to you, then wait. If someone says that to you, then you should be a jerk. LOL. See, but it doesn't help me. It doesn't help me. See, I used to think, you know what? This isn't customer service. This isn't a democracy. This is my space. I can say what I want and do what I want. That was a bad choice. That was a bad choice, because what happens sometimes when I do that, and hopefully this is giving you some insight into what it's like to have a lot of people kind of talking to you. What happens when I do that is sometimes I accidentally misinterpret or misread something, and someone really didn't have negative intentions, and I say something back that they did have negative intentions because I misinterpreted it. And now I've turned someone that was actually trying to be nice, trying to say something kind. Now I have snapped at them, and that person will forever remember that I snapped at them. And that's the last thing that I want to do. You know, I don't want to create negative feelings in somebody just because I misinterpreted what they said. And I know I've done that quite a few times. I can think of 3 off the top of my head, times that I've done that to people. So I have to be really careful about when I'm snarky to somebody, you know, and it's really better for me if I just block the person, that if I know 100% that they are meaning me no good. In the past, I would just block people if I thought they might have meant me no good. And I tried to go back in and start unblocking people from my YouTube channel. But then, like, I don't know why I blocked the person. It just comes up as like a list. So I don't know why I blocked the person. I have so many people blocked, from spammers, from you know, 8 years of being on this platform, people that spam the channel, people that, you know, are, you know, just jerks and, you know, are disgusting, you know, like, and I don't know why I blocked the person. So I don't know. It's just Josephine says keywords. Okay, so the thing about keywords, when you type in, like, the only thing, I'll tell you what I have flagged. I have one phrase flagged as hold for review, and it's disappointed in you, because that statement hurts me to my core. And I'm telling you this, being very open. It always feels like a punch in the gut when someone says they're disappointed in me. It brings me back to being 4 years old. Like, it just makes me go, oh, I feel like a cartoon, like shrinking in. But I have nothing else blocked, because there's really no point, for me at least, because all it does is it sends it to a different folder. It doesn't get rid of it. All it does is put it in a separate folder so I can look at it when I feel emotionally stable. That's all that it does. So yeah, I could put in more blocked words, but I'm not sure if that's what you meant, Josephine, but that, that's why I don't have more blocked words. We've kind of gone off a little bit, but hopefully you're still finding this interesting. Nasi says, recognition is valued and it's normal. We like you guys. We like you guys. It's nice if you say hi to us, but really when you see a response and an acknowledgement from a really important person, this to me says, I care, yes. But see, I don't like an important person. What makes somebody more important than you though? Like why is the person that you're acknowledging is more important? Why are they more important than you are? Like, you're important. Like, people that don't have a public platform are still very important. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to say, like, I get it. Like, it does say that the person cares, but I want to make sure you know you're important, because you are. Sophie says they're not trying to be nice if they say they don't like your video. Nice people say nice things or nothing at all. Yeah, I mean, I think some people see it as valuable feedback, you know, that they're trying to communicate feedback in order to help improve the channel. So, yeah, Casca says, wow, that's wow. I mean, you should be reading those disappointed comments more than any others. Those are the important ones. I'm actually disappointed to hear this. And I'm shrinking into being a 4-year-old. I do read them, hon. I do read them. That's what I just... Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little defensive because I do that sometimes. So I'm going to take a deep breath. Okay, I do read them, but I read them when I'm emotionally stable. Because I can't handle those kinds of comments when I'm feeling particularly vulnerable. So I send them to a folder, to the Held for Review folder, and I don't click on that folder when I'm not feeling okay. So hopefully that explains it to you. I hope. So I am Yeah, Caitlin says, I disagree that you should only speak if you have something nice to say. I think constructive criticism is a thing. Absolutely, as long as it's actually helpful. Oh, totally. Absolutely. And this is something that I have learned recently that goes along with ADHD and ADD, which is something that I have, which is an extreme reaction to criticism. And you can look it up. There's new terms that have been coined to describe it, but I do have a physical reaction to criticism. And I didn't realize that other people didn't have that, where I actually feel like physically ill when I get criticism. And I didn't realize other people didn't feel that. Like, people get upset, obviously, but I literally, like, right now, I feel like physically ill and like I'm gonna cry. Like, and how stupid is that? How weird is that? You know, no one said anything to me that has, you know, that should have gotten me to that level. But because of, I don't know, I don't want to explain it wrong, but so what I have to do is I have to read those kinds of comments when I am emotionally stable. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, Say says, I know you've learned a lot in the past few months. Oh my gosh, I totally have. Angela says, yes, Jem, when a child gives me a thank you note, I read it at home. It gives a good place versus at school. Oh, absolutely. Like, I used to take, when I was teaching, I used to take letters and things from my students, and I would bring them home, and I had a folder, and whenever I was feeling upset or sad about something, I would read the letters from parents, letters from students. It's super, super helpful. Pretty Psych Beauty says, I'm obviously a psych person, so one of the things I'm going to try to focus on is the other person's perspective reasoning for posting negativity. Yes, and that's something I have to consciously do, and that's something that I'm working on. You know, so that's kind of where, you know, where I'm at. All right, we are 30 minutes in, so let's go ahead and take a little break and let us talk about what is on my face today. So on my eyes today, I am doing my final testing of the Makeup by Mario stuff. So on my eyes, I have the natural palette. This is the Master Mattes eyeshadow palette. Again, this is all PR. So I used this on my eyes, and then I also used, make sure I get the right one, this one right here. I tapped this all over the inner portion of my lid. So this is the Master Crystal Highlighter in Quartz. And this is not meant to be opaque. It's just like a tiny bit of sparkle. I'm not sure if it's coming off on camera, but it's just a little bit of sparkle. So that's that, and we'll get into that in the full review. I also used a little bit of this on my cheeks. I'm still working on this. This is the Master Secret Glow Highlighter Inexpensive. It's the balm. I'm still working on forming my opinion on this. I'm kind of going back and forth with it. So yeah, I'm working on that. Also on my cheeks, this was sent to me by Jolie Beauty, and I have been loving these blushes. This is the shade Flushed, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It is a wonderful, very buildable formula, and I actually dropped my other one on my on the bottom of my chair. You know, like the rolly chairs have like the spokes going out at the bottom with the wheels. So it dropped right on one of those metal, like, little rolly, I don't know, the little spokey thing. I was like, oh my gosh, it's broken. I know it's broken. I opened it up and it wasn't broken. And I was like, yes! I was so happy that it didn't get broken. So that's a thing too. But I love these blushes. I've been really loving these. On my lips today, excuse me, this is purchased. This is the only thing purchased that I wanted to show you. This is the shade Chocolate by Glamlight. I love Glamlight's eyeshadows. I'm learning I'm not the biggest fan of their lip products. I'm sure this is going to be in a favorites and fails lower down, and it makes me sad because I love indie brands, and you know, I think the owner seems absolutely lovely, but I am really not really liking this. I'll just tell you, it smells a little weird and it's very dry. So yeah. So that's a thing. So what I did was I ombrated it with a little bit of my Ofra collab, and this is in the shade Revive. I put a little bit of that in the center and tapped it in, but it's still extremely dry. Unless I put a gloss over it, I can feel it like just like I honestly don't like it, and I'm really sad, but it's a beautiful shade. It's a gorgeous shade, and I love that it's got the little mirror on the side and everything, but I'm really not enjoying this formula. It makes me sad because I really like Glamlight a lot. So that is what is on my face today, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the last thing that I thought was really interesting. I have to like go like this with my contact lenses because I still haven't switched contact lens brands. I still have contacts left before I switch contact brands to the one y'all shared with me that I have a note. Okay, so I'm just letting you know I'm going to be talking about Jeffree Star very briefly, but that's not the point. The point of this isn't to talk about him specifically. The point is to talk about kind of what I was talking about in that 7 Reasons video. If you did not see it, the video was about 7 brands that I don't use anymore. And I meant to put a little clip so you could see exactly what I said, but it's still up if you want to go watch it. What I was saying basically is that Jeffrey is who he is, and we shouldn't expect him to change for us. You know, like that's just who he is. So we mental note and say, okay, this is the kind of person that he is, and we either love it or we don't love it. We buy or we don't buy, you know, based on our own personal, you know, thoughts, and, you know, we have control over our own wallets and we do what we want. So I thought this was really interesting. So this comment says, I think it's pretty dangerous to say, oh, well, Jeffrey is just the way he is. Sounds like boys will be boys. And what it does is excuse their behavior and leaves no room for improvement. So I don't know, don't support him. I thought that was super interesting. Because it does kind of sound like boys will be boys a little bit. Like, kind of like, well, it's just Jeffrey, you know, blah, blah, it doesn't really matter. Because it does matter. You know, the way that people treat people matters. And when you treat people a certain way in a very public platform, that matters. So that wasn't what I was trying to say, but I was like, that kind of makes sense in a way. But I think where I was going with it is that we have to accept people for who they are, whether we like them or don't like them. I think that our culture in society right now is very much about you need to believe what I believe, you need to say what I say you should say, you need to apologize the way that I tell you to apologize, and if you don't apologize correctly, then you're going to be even in more trouble because you didn't apologize the way you're supposed to apologize, you didn't use the right words, you didn't say the right thing, you didn't do the right thing, you know, I mean, we're in this society where we're trying to control each other. And I don't think that's a good place to be, in my opinion. I think that there's something to be said for just accepting that we're all different, and that there are going to be people that just don't vibe with our vibe, people that just don't, you know, just aren't our people, and that's okay. And we don't have to, especially on the internet, we don't have to be around those people. If they're in your family, that's a whole nother thing. But when we're talking about somebody on the internet, like, I don't have to follow people that I don't vibe with, that I don't think are good people. I don't have to follow them. And I can get them out of my life, and that's okay. But I'm not going to go to that person and say, you know, you need to be this way, and you need to say this, and you need to do this, and you need to... That's not my place. And I feel like we are in that place on the internet right now where we're telling everybody what to do, and I don't think that that's a good place to be. So I wanted to talk about that with you and hear what you all have to say about it, because I'm not the end-all be-all of opinions, and a lot of times when I bring up something like this that I'm kind of in the process of thinking about, you all bring me to a new level of understanding and thought, and I love it. So Cosmic Slice says you can accept people for who they are and still hold them accountable for their behavior. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Jenna says, I personally love his products. I just try to separate the person from the brand, just me. And I think a lot of people do. And I think that in a way that's a privilege to be able to do that, because if he hasn't, you know, said things that personally offend you on a personal level, then yeah, it's a lot easier to separate the person from the brand. But if you're somebody that he is affected by something that he has said, then that, I don't think you can separate the brand from the person when you've been personally offended, you know? So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people can do that, and I've tried to do that in the past, but I can't anymore for certain things. I just can't. So, Tessie says, so over Jeffrey, I'm sorry means you regret your actions and words and you'll still make an honest effort to do the same thing again. When has Jeffrey ever done that? See, that's the point. That's exactly what I'm saying, Tessie, is that I think we push people into apologizing for things that they're not sorry for, because we expect them to follow this apology format. And if they just apologized correctly, then they all would be forgiven, right? And of course, they would have to change their actions. But by doing that, we're forcing people to say things they don't really mean. And then we get mad at them for having a fake apology. And it's like, but that's what you told me to do. And what I think we're doing by forcing people into this, what I think we're doing is we're creating people who are either going to turtle into a shell, or they're going to put on a mask and they're going to be lying about who they are. And I think we've done that with some of the influencers that are in a public space. We're not allowing them to truly be who they are, because if they even slightly show a side of their personality that some people may not like, some people may love it, some people may not like it, if they show that, then they're going to get so much backlash, and it's going to hit on a more personal level because they're really showing who they are. And nothing, like for me, because I told you how sensitive I am and how I take criticism really, really hard, and I'm working on that. I think that what makes it harder is when somebody doesn't like something about you and you know that that's really who you truly are. It hurts more than if you have put on this mask and you have showed people something that's different. Like, I believe some internet personalities, I don't think that's really the way that they truly are. I think that they are being a jerk because they know it'll get views and they know that it's going to pay their bills. And they would rather do that than just be themselves, because being themselves isn't nearly as interesting as being this personality. It's kind of like the Paris Hilton thing, you know, how that came out, that she was just playing the that's hot character and it wasn't really who she was. And it made her a lot of money and it made her very successful. So I think us, you know, as a society, forcing these things on people is creating more fakeness. And I think what we loved about the internet, what we've loved for so long, is that we get to see more of humanity. We get to see more of who people are. But by demanding that someone be exactly the way we want them to be, we're not changing anybody. You know, we're not changing who these people are. We're just making them either stop talking to us, a la Tati, or we're making people change who they are, you know, or what they show us of who they are, you know? And it's making it more difficult to decide who we want to have in our homes and through our screens, because they're not really being themselves. So that's my take on it. But Tessie, thank you so much for that, because it really brought me to an interesting place. Yeah, Dark Angel says, Jen, we're in that place in life. That's when you see on that's what you see in social media and out in the world. Everyone wants no one to disagree with them. Almost like a hive mind society. It's getting somewhat scary. Absolutely. And I think the scariest part is you never know when you are going to be on the popular side or the unpopular side. Because even being a good person can become unpopular when it's best for the masses to be a bad person. When people are protecting themselves and their family by being a bad person, it's happened in our society, or not our society, but it's happened in the world before, where being a bad person and supporting bad people has been the popular thing. And it has led those people into horrible places. You never know who's going to be popular, who's going to be in charge. So I strongly encourage people to, no matter whether you think you're right or not, you know, anytime we're forcing our opinions on somebody, and you know, imposing these consequences if someone doesn't agree with us fully, I think that that's a bad thing. Like T1J from that video, you know, if you haven't watched that entire video, I'll link it under this video too, and I'll link it, it's linked over on that video as well if you want to go watch it, you know, before I can link it in this video. But I mean, the way that he spoke about that was just so incredible and really, you know, made me think in a new way. So yeah, Danielle says, I agree with you 100%. When did society start demanding conformism? Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with wanting people to be better. There's nothing wrong with wanting people to make choices that help society and help people and fight against these terrible things that I think the majority of people know are terrible. But we can't force that on people. They have to come to those ideas and those thoughts on their own. And the only way we can do that, like T1J said, is by planting those seeds. And the more people that plant those seeds and just kind of say, hey, this is what I believe, this is what works for me, but not forcing those ideas, I think that that's going to bring people to a better place rather than demanding that we make them go to that place. You know what I'm saying? Pretty Psych Beauty says, I come from a small town and empathy is one of my strengths. It really hurts my heart to know people don't want to treat others kindly sometimes. Just for subs and views, I just don't understand. I am totally with you. But the thing, it's so successful. It's so successful to be a terrible person on the internet. Like, I'm talking millions of dollars. And we know what people will do for millions of dollars. You know? It's the way that we are. It's the way that we are as a society. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Yeah, Les No Yes says people are responsible for their own actions. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, Marky Mark says, to be honest, I'd rather my enemies speak up and say what they think so I know what type of person they really are and what to expect for them. Forcing apologies that are unnatural doesn't change them, just saves face. Yes, absolutely. But the thing, what happens is there's the threat of the cancellation, the threat of, I'm going to ruin you. If you don't agree with me, if you don't say what I make you say, what I want you to say, then I'm going to take away everything that you have. I'm going to take away anything that makes you earn money. Your lifestyle is going to be gone. Everything is going to be gone away. Now, some people, do I feel like they kind of, should be deplatformed? Sometimes, yeah, I have to be honest. I do feel like some people, they're terrible people. And it sucks that they're doing so well. Because of they just seem like awful people. But that's, I think, when our individual choices come into play, is who we want to support, But what we're creating, the point is, what we're creating is this fake outer mask. And like Marky Mark is saying, I'd rather just see who people are, and then decide. But being honest isn't always the best policy for a lot of people. And it's sad. Isabel says there's nothing wrong with telling people when they're sounding or being unintentionally racist. Absolutely. But not giving them a choice to learn and grow and change is also not good either. I think, I don't want to go too deep into that because I am not personally affected by racism. So I don't want to go too deep into that. But I agree. I think that it's really important to tell people when they're doing something that's racist or, something that in any way is really, truly hurting a group of people. When we're talking about cultural appropriation and things like that, I think it's important to call that stuff out. And I think that's the seeds that T1J was talking about. It's planting those seeds. It's saying, you know what, this is a behavior that you have that I personally don't agree with, and giving that education. I think that's really important. I think it's really important. I don't think we should stop. I'm glad you brought this up because I don't want anybody to think I'm saying we shouldn't call people out, because I think it's really important to communicate when somebody has a dangerous or terrible behavior. But it's the trying to force the change when that person isn't ready to change, and not accepting that person for who they are. So going back to what I said in my video, I feel like with Jeffrey specifically, forcing him to change isn't going to work. So instead, looking at who he is, calling out the behavior when we see it, acknowledging who he is, and making the choice that we want to make as far as buying products, watching videos, following on social media, things like that, and doing what's best for us. Warpaint and Unicorns, in Jeffrey's case, he's had 5 years of change with his brand, but he only hide how he reaches natural tendency. I'm trying to understand. Okay, in Jeffrey's case, he had 5 years to change with his brand, but he's only hidden how his natural tendencies, I guess. Yeah, and he's gotten better at it, I think, at hiding who he is. Marie says, OMG, Jen, I also have ADD diagnosed as adult. Me too. Same as you, I think I react so badly to criticism. I had no idea where was a link. You found, you're a fountain of knowledge and wisdom. Well, thank you. I mostly get my idea. I feel like a lot of the things that I say are based on things that I've read other people say, and then I've developed it in my own mind. So it's not like I've thought of all this stuff all by myself. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I will put the resources that I've found recently on ADD and ADHD that have really helped me to kind of get to know myself a little bit better, because being diagnosed as an adult, even though I taught kids with ADD, there were a lot of things that have come out in the past few years about people with ADD and ADHD and the weaker parts of our brains that have really helped me to accept who I am and realize that this isn't something, like me being sensitive to criticism isn't something I can fix. fix. And it's, think about this with other people too. It's not something that I can fix, not something I can get, it's something that I can get better at. It's something that I can get better at taking a breath, like I did earlier when I was starting to get upset. I'll link the channel down below. I've forgotten it for the moment, but she was talking about that there's a range, and everybody experiences this to an extent, where there's the red zone, the green zone, and the red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. So like earlier, you saw me, I was in the red zone where I wasn't able to functionally think because I was getting really upset. And that's when I need to not do anything. That's when I need to calm myself down. And I need to not say anything until I start going into the yellow zone. My goal is to get myself back into the green zone, which is where I am right now. But if what's happened before in the past when I've lashed out or anything like that, it's because I've been in that red zone. And I have reacted and responded when I am not mentally capable of responding because I am so upset and clouded and my heart is beating and my stomach hurts and I just want the feeling to stop. And I feel like the only way I can get that feeling to stop is to comment or say something or whatever. So I've learned that I need to bring myself down and take a minute. And that has been huge for me. That has been a huge revelation for me because I've always thought, well, I've worked on it and now I'm better and I'm fixed and I know that that's never going to happen. So yeah, and I think that the more we get to know ourselves as people, if we are in a place where we're trying to get to know ourselves better and be better people, I think that we are going to be able to present kind of a new version of ourselves. And I feel like it really takes a lot to get to that point where you're like, yes, I have a problem. I have something that is impacting my ability to function in society, and I need to do something about that problem. And I think like with Jeffrey and other people, I don't know if they're at a place where they feel like they truly have a problem, where they feel like that their actions are truly impacting in a negative way and then they actually care about those impacts. And we can't force them to care. Have you ever tried to force somebody to care about something? It's really like you can't. It's not possible. So I think letting them be on their own cycles and planting those seeds, I think is really important. But not expecting them to be a completely different person because it's not going to happen. So, all right, so we have about 10 minutes left. I'd be happy to pop topics from here. I'm kind of done with my topics, so I like to kind of pop around and talk about different things. Yeah, Jennifer says, I know someone who didn't want to take pharmaceuticals, so she takes CBD for ADHD and it keeps her anxiety down. Nice, nice. Yeah, I went off of my medication a long time ago because it made me feel weird. I just decided it wasn't for me. Maybe, I need to just go to a different doctor and I need to get a different medication is what it comes down to. But it's finding the time to do that. And I lived for, 39, 40 years without, without medication, so. Yeah, Kat M says the first step is awareness and Jeffrey's far from that. Yes, I think so too. I don't know him, but I think so too. Mariah says, ADD diagnosis as an adult here too, but I don't have the criticism thing because I went to art school and they teach, take, and critique every day. So you learned those coping mechanisms early, which is wonderful. I did not. I did not learn that. I wasn't even aware of it until like I got on the internet. Oh my gosh, how many people did I hurt or say something, did I snap at when I was in my 20s and 30s and didn't even realize I was doing it, Can't even imagine. I wish I could go back and apologize to so many people because who knows how many people I'd snapped at. I don't know. I don't think that I did it a lot, but memories are not fabulous. Trashly says, cancellation is often just capitalism. We vote with our dollar. Absolutely, Trashly. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. Patrick says, your thoughts, why do we fight for rights of women to have control and freedom over their bodies, then judge women like Khloe Kardashian and not support her? That's interesting, Patrick. I think that's really interesting. I think that when we're fighting for an ideal in society, I think that's different than an individual person. What I learned, let me tell you what I learned today. I did a piece today in What's Up in Makeup about Khloe Kardashian and how people, Ipsy followers, were upset about Khloe becoming a new spokesperson for Ipsy. And I thought it was because of plastic surgery that she I don't know, has she admitted that she's had plastic surgery? I don't know. I don't watch the Kardashians, so I don't know. I've never watched a single episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I've seen little clips here and there. I've never watched a single episode. So I thought it was because of plastic surgery, but what people are telling me is that it's actually because of the extreme amount of Facetune that she's using in her photos. Either way, I feel like, you know, people should be allowed to do what they want with their own faces, whether it's digitally or with surgery. That's my personal opinion. But I think, you know, when we're talking about a broad thing, I think that's different than going against an individual person. You know, it's the macro versus the micro. And sometimes they're handled a little differently. But I see what you're saying as far as the possible hypocritical nature in that. It's interesting. It's an interesting point. Steph says, quick tip on mental health. If you think you are alone, you're really not. And there's people who care and want to listen. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Tempted 318. This is my friend Audra from Audra at Home. This is her merch. It says exotic bird. She is one of my best friends. Okay. Another shout out to Audra. Yes, thank you for that, Steph. Steph is one of my moderators for a reason. She's amazing. Yeah, Caitlin says, I don't get the hate for Chloe when James uses tons of Facetune too. Yeah, and I think that there is a double standard sometimes for men and women, especially from other women. I think other women are harder. Women are harder on women, I think, than they are on men sometimes. I mean, of course, it's all individual, but I think as a whole, I think sometimes, a lot of times that does happen. Yeah, Samantha says that's why she doesn't look like herself anymore. It's a turnoff. I mean, well, I'm not sure. I think I've got this right. But I think I remember hearing once that people were calling her the ugly sister. You know, I can't imagine having that many people with their eyes on me and then having that be the name that people call me. That has to be awful if I'm remembering it correctly. So maybe that's contributing to it, and maybe there's something going on inside of her that she's just self-conscious because she feels like she's not as pretty as her sisters. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's important, like going back to the parasocial relationships, I think it's important to know and remember and recognize and kind of mentally check ourselves that we don't really know any of these people. You know? We don't know any of these people. Emily says October is Disability Awareness Month. Yes, yes, I love that. I love that. Yes. I think it's so important to just be aware of other people and to kind of give people a break sometimes. You know, and if you see somebody's actually trying to do better, just, you know, we're all humans is what it comes down to. We're all humans. Josephine says, are you and Audra at home doing a collab at some point? I am going to be on a live stream on Audra's channel in a couple of weeks. And I cannot wait. And I'm so excited. So make sure you're subscribed to Audra at Home so you don't miss it. I'll be putting links up places too. But yeah, Cynthia says, who's editing her pics? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. Busy Beauty says, I just found Audra. I mean, heard about her through Jem, but OMG, I love her. Newly hooked sub. She's just got the most beautiful light. I mean, just, oh, just my heart. My heart. Let's see. Terry Lee. Terry Lee says, being part of the collective brain has changed my life. You have changed my life, my friend. Oh my gosh. Terry Lee has been part of our What's Been Makeup team. She has gone through cancer and come out the other side. We've, oh my gosh, Terry Lee, just mwah. Mwah. Just so much love. So much love. Sophie says, we love you, Jen. Great live as always. Never a disappointment. Thank you. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And just a reminder to people that are watching this on the replay, since we're almost out of time, is that this is live. It's unedited. It's very raw. So I don't always word things perfectly. So if I did say something that was a little bit off, a little bit, you know, where you're kind of like, think for a second whether I actually might have not meant it quite that way. because sometimes things just don't come out perfectly in a live stream. So, and also I expand on my ideas thanks to the collective brain. And one thing that I've learned recently is the internet doesn't like to see people grow and change. I've learned that in the last year, is that the internet doesn't like to see you in a period of growth. They don't want to see you, the internet as a whole. They don't want to see you learning. They don't want to see you asking questions. The internet wants to see you already having come to the perfect conclusion. So I do want to still be myself, and I do still want to show you when I'm still not 100% in understanding something. I want to be able to show you that, because it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to not understand something completely and be in a process of learning. It's okay. It's normal. It's natural. And I think the internet gives us, Twitter gives us the impression that we all have to have this perfectly developed mindset on every single topic, and it's just not real. It's not reality. I mean, good for the people that do. Good for you. But not everybody's like that. And a lot of people have to go through a period of growth in order to understand things. Especially complex issues that maybe we don't have personal experience with, and we're just learning from other people who have experience with certain things, and we're trying to learn and understand. There sometimes is a period of growth. Flory says, let's try for 250 likes. Don't forget to hit the like button. It makes Jen feel awesome and look super cool. Thank you, Flory. Mwah. Oh, my Flory, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it basically what it does is it tells YouTube that people like the video, and it's more likely to share it with other people. It only takes a second to click. All right, we are unfortunately out of time. I hope that you enjoyed the chat. We're gonna end with Lana, and she says, nothing is ever perfect in life. Let's stay positive and realize what you say comes from a good place. Well, hopefully what people say comes from a good place. Just be a good human, and try to be a good human. If you realize you weren't a good human, then, trying to make amends is good. I don't know what else to say. That sounded really stupid, though. If this were edited, I would have edited that part out because it sounded really stupid. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you liked chat. Mad love to you, and I will see you next week for another live chat. Coming up this week, Makeup by Mario review. Hopefully I'll have that up to you later in the week. That might be the only video this week because it's going to take me a while to get all of that together. So, and then hopefully we'll be back for What's Been Makeup next weekend as well. All right, mad love to you. Have a great week. Stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye.